1 in 36 American children are impacted by autism. A number that sounds simple, but represents 1 in 36 completely different ways of seeing and arguably more importantly hearing the world. Across 45 studies, many autistic individuals exhibit sharper pitch sensitivity, stronger pitch discrimination, and sometimes even absolute pitch, often without any training whatsoever. But these are the patterns, not the process. The real understanding comes from seeing how music finds its way into the lives of individuals with disabilities.
I always refer to them as they're like angels in disguise, like angels in these bodies, you know, that and when you get a smile, you know you've done something right from them, for them. And I'll just tell you this one thing. I formed like a performing group with the students, and they're known as the Sensations. So we had this big gig that we were doing in Palm Beach. And some of the students will use sign language, American Sign Language. So I'll play the live music and sing, and some of them will sing along, and then some use sign language, right? It's going to be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. So we do I Can See Clearly Now, a bunch of really cool songs. And I picked up this one student with his Down syndrome. He has some verbal skills, and it starts one of these torrential downpours. And he sees me getting frustrated. I couldn't even drive. I had to pull over, and I was nervous that we were going to be late. And of course, we were running late to begin with, but now with the downpour, anyway, he sees me like freaking out, and he's in the passenger side. I'm over here, and he probably heard me saying some nice, juicy French words. And as the rain's coming down, so there was Adam, and he taps me on the shoulder. And he goes like this. He says one word. He says, car wash. Like, dude, you're getting a free car wash. What's your problem? Right? And just totally like switched my outlook. You know, here I'm like freaking out, like, we gotta move. Come on, what's going on? You know, and of course we got there in time. We set up, and they stole the show. They were amazing. Some of the students use the adaptive instruments. So. You know, here I'm in this downpour thinking like, oh no, can it get any worse? And he's like, car wash. You got a car wash there, man. Come on, this is fun. So I first took piano, and my piano teacher quit on me after about a year and a half. As it was all scales, you know, and of course now, like a lot of people, I wish I would have stuck with it. But I begged my parents for drums. I got to give them credit. They let me take drum lessons. But they said, you are taking with the head percussionist of the Buffalo Philharmonic. So I had to learn how to read music for drums and play with a metronome, which, you know, that's unforgiving as far as tempo, right? But it really was sort of a game changer for me. You know, I was walking around with drumsticks and a drum pad and music. Well, we all know music is like the language of the soul, right? It just touches everybody inside. And I saw what music does for my students with special needs. They love to dance or to sing or to use the microphone, and it's magic. Music equals magic. To me, it's been really interesting and kind of eye-opening to see what it might be a particular song that they get inspired, that turns them on. It could be a genre of music. So I had this one girl in a wheelchair who basically never smiled, and I would interact with her for music and didn't know what to do. And then one time, I don't even know why I did it, but I had an assistant here who was playing keyboards, and we were doing this. It was like a old school one that was and then in the song it would be let's go, right? So I would go around with a tambourine and I whispered in her ear, let's go. She had this big smile. We took a picture of her because that was, for some reason, she loved that song. And or just, I don't know, the vibe of it, what it did. Took a picture of the parents, like blew up the picture, put it in their living room, you know.
So this is one of these homemade jobs. You can probably tell. And then what I'll go, let's say students who are not verbal, I'll go up to them and I'll say to them, you know, pick out one. And some of them will do what they call eye gaze. Like if I see he's looking over here, so I'll say, do you want one of these? They might nod their head, or maybe then I would go, and it's just held on like it's just kind of like Velcro. So I will then move it here, so then I can see which one they're looking at, and then I'll give them this particular one to do. But it's just another cool way where they can pick out what they want, as opposed to me just giving it to them. You know, it's you want them to have more say in what goes on and what they're doing, and
They come in with real issues, real challenges, 24/7, and most of the time, they're happy campers. So they've taught me to really, I think, to really set my priorities straight. They have a much different outlook on, what's important in life. So that's why I love them. I love them for a lot of reasons, but that's a biggie.
Peace and love.